Have you ever held something so tightly that your knuckles turned white? Maybe it was a precious object or the hand of someone you love. We hold on because we value what we have, and we fear losing it. This instinct is deeply human, a reflection of our capacity for connection. But when our grip becomes too tight, love and attachment become entangled and pain can arise. We often mistake our fear of loss for the depth of our love. Our anxiety, our need for control can feel like love, but it's really attachment. If we look closely, we may notice a subtle undercurrent of suffering, a tension, a fear that things could fall apart. This is not the spaciousness of love, but the constriction of attachment. The journey is to gently untangle love from attachment, to see how one nourishes and the other depletes. Imagine a love that feels like an open palm, not a clenched fist, a love that allows for growth and change. This is the promise of learning to love without the painful grip of attachment. It's about finding security within ourselves, not demanding it from others. As we walk this path, we can offer our hearts with generosity and courage, connecting more authentically. Let's begin this gentle inquiry with compassion for ourselves and those we hold dear. To begin, we must understand what attachment really means. In everyday language, attachment can sound positive, a sign of connection. But from a psychological and spiritual perspective, it's a connection rooted in need, fear, and a desire for permanence in a changing world. In Buddhist teachings, attachment is seen as a cause of suffering, a clinging to people, things, or ideas, hoping they'll bring lasting happiness. Psychologically, attachment theory shows how our early bonds shape our adult relationships, sometimes leading to anxious or avoidant patterns. Both perspectives reveal that when our happiness depends entirely on someone or something outside ourselves, we set ourselves up for pain. Understanding attachment isn't about blame, it's about awareness, so we can find a freer way to relate. With gentle awareness, we can begin to shift these patterns. Our attachment patterns begin early, shaped by our caregivers. If our needs were met with consistency and warmth, we likely developed secure attachment, trusting others, feeling worthy of love, and able to be close without losing ourselves. But if care was unpredictable, we may have developed anxious attachment, fearing abandonment, needing reassurance, and clinging tightly. If care was distant or unresponsive, we may have learned to avoid closeness, relying only on ourselves and keeping others at arm's length. These patterns aren't about blame, they're about understanding. As adults, anxious attachment can look like constant fear of loss, while avoidant attachment can make intimacy feel threatening. Both are ways we try to feel safe, based on what we learned as children. Recognizing these roots helps us bring compassion to our patterns. With awareness, we can begin to choose new ways of relating. Healing starts with understanding, not judgment. In Buddhist wisdom, attachment is seen as a root of suffering, not because we care, but because we cling. Our pain comes not from life itself, but from our resistance to its impermanence. We crave pleasant feelings, people, and certainty, hoping they'll last forever. But when reality shifts, as it always does, our attachment brings sorrow. We can be attached to relationships, identities, possessions, or even our own ideas of happiness. This makes our peace fragile, dependent on things we can't control. The antidote isn't indifference, it's wisdom and non-clinging. We can love deeply, but with an open hand, not a desperate grip. True freedom comes from engaging with life fully, while letting go of the need for things to stay the same. This is the path to lasting peace. We find stability within, not in the ever-changing world. When attachment drives a relationship, suffering follows, even when our intentions are loving. Attachment is rooted in fear of loss, loneliness, or not being enough. This fear fuels a need for control over our partner's actions, feelings, or even their happiness. Our well-being becomes dependent on their moods, creating an emotional roller coaster. We may cling to an idealized version of them, rather than loving who they truly are. This stifles growth for both people. One feels suffocated, the other consumed by anxiety. True intimacy is lost when we try to possess or change the other. The more we grip, the more the relationship suffers. Attachment turns love into a struggle for security, rather than a space for connection. The very act of holding on too tightly can destroy what we most want to preserve. To love well, we must loosen our grip. Only then can both people breathe and grow. Let me pause for a moment. If you are already finding this content helpful, I would appreciate your support by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and sharing it with anyone whom you feel could benefit. Now, back to our topic. Letting go is often misunderstood as indifference or giving up. In truth, it's a gentle, courageous act, releasing our fearful grip, not our love. Letting go means accepting reality and allowing people to be themselves, without needing them to change for our comfort. It's an internal shift from control to trust, from demand to acceptance. We stop fighting reality and find peace in the present moment. Letting go is an act of respect for ourselves and for others. It says, I trust you to be on your own journey, and I trust myself to be whole no matter what. This creates space for authenticity and growth. Letting go is a practice, not a one-time event. It happens in small choices, pausing before reacting, allowing space, choosing trust over anxiety. Letting go doesn't end love. It transforms it into something freer and more authentic. We reclaim our emotional sovereignty. In this space, love can truly flourish. The difference between love and attachment is like the sun's warmth versus the fire's burn one nourishes, the other consumes. Love is expansive, generous, and focused on the other's well-being. It celebrates growth, supports individuality, and feels like open space. Attachment is constricting, self-focused, and rooted in need. It asks, what can I get, and seeks to possess and control. Love allows for freedom and trusts in connection, even with distance. Attachment panics at separation, needing constant reassurance. Love is the joyful sharing of two whole people. Attachment makes the other person the center of your happiness, creating fragility and pain. Love says, I am happy with you. Attachment says, I am only happy because of you. The source of happiness is the key difference. True love liberates, attachment binds. Letting go of attachment is a gentle, ongoing practice. The first step is awareness. Notice when you feel the grip of attachment, the tightness, the anxious thoughts. Don't judge these feelings, simply acknowledge them. Next, create space between feeling and reaction. Pause, breathe, and ask, what do I truly need right now? Often it's self-soothing, not external reassurance. Cultivate your own joy and inner resources. Nurture hobbies, friendships, and passions that make you feel whole. The more you fill your own cup, the less you demand from others. Practice loving kindness meditation. Wish happiness and peace for yourself and for the person you're attached to. This shifts your focus from getting to giving, from fear to goodwill. Each small act of letting go builds resilience and self-worth. Remember, it's a process, gentle, patient, and compassionate. Over time, the grip of attachment loosens. Love becomes more spacious and generous. You find freedom within yourself, and your relationships become healthier and more authentic. Sometimes letting go means releasing the relationship itself. This can feel like the hardest act, but it's often the most loving. When a relationship stifles growth or becomes unhealthy, holding on can cause more harm than letting go. Letting go creates space for healing and wholeness for both people. If someone's behavior is destructive and they won't change, staying may only enable pain. Letting go is not abandonment. It's self-respect and a final act of love. It's not a failure, but a courageous choice for peace and growth. Sometimes the deepest love is shown by setting someone free. In letting go, we honor both ourselves and the other. The journey from attachment to love is a return to ourselves. We discover that true security and peace come from within, not from others. This shift enhances our relationships, allowing us to love more generously. The anxiety of attachment dissolves, replaced by trust and openness. We can connect deeply without losing our center. Loving with an open hand brings freedom and stability. Be gentle with yourself. These patterns are learned and take time to change. Every moment you choose to soften and release, you strengthen your capacity for real love. To love without attachment is to love more fully. It liberates, supports, and appreciates. By releasing attachment, we discover the true nature of love. We connect deeply, cherish authentically, and build inner peace. This is the path to loving freely and living fully. If you found this content helpful, I would appreciate your support by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with anyone whom you feel could benefit. Thank you for watching. Be and live in love and peace.